Hey girl, I'm so tired, y'all. I am really sleepy. But I got y'all back. We going in tonight. We're gonna have a good time. So open your mind and be ready to have some conversation. But your girl is oh shoot. I always be knocking Instagram all over the place. Your girl is a little bit sleepy today. Hey. Come on in here. Get in here, girls. Get in here so we can start talking the smack. Get up in here. Oh, I'm so happy to be on here with y'all. Yes. Yes, girl, you finally caught me live. Yeah, we about to have a good time today. Yes. Oh, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a chance to get in because let me tell y'all what. Let me tell y'all what. The announcements are about to be announcing tonight. Is my part crooked? Yes, it is. Anyway, it's about to go down tonight, y'all. Let me see. Yes. Come on in here, everybody. Come on. Yes, honey. So, by the way, since y'all are the early people, if you are wanting to talk about something specific, and don't get too dang on specific. Don't be like, yeah, I want to talk about, my third fibroid on the left because they had said, no, ma'am. But if it's like a specific topic, I have a couple of things that, definitely we're going to talk about. But a couple of things, a couple of y'all asked me about, and we're going to go over that. And I'm just going to try and add in as much stuff as I possibly can so we can have a good conversation, a good little kiki, and all the things. All right, y'all. So I am so excited. Y'all happy it's the holiday? I am. What am I doing? Nothing. I'm staying out the way. I don't know what these folk, fitting to do. I don't know. I don't want no parts of it. I'm gonna be at the house, okay, with a nice seafood bowl and some barbecue from the back porch. Miss me with the festivities. You ain't got to catch me with no fireworks. Nope. Sound too much like gunshots. I ain't with it. Nope. Yes. Okay, so I'm so happy that all of y'all are on here. Y'all found me. We are in a great place. All the things. Yes, honey. We're gonna get into some stuff today. Now we're gonna get into a whole bunch of stuff. I hope y'all know this is a safe place, right? This is a comfortable place. But we go all in and we have all kinds of conversations, and none of it is malicious or any of that. And I'm gonna have to hit y'all. I told y'all I went to training. And I'll tell y'all for what last weekend. And we the dirty South for a reason, y'all. And I'm gonna tell y'all some stuff that's gonna make us uncomfortable, but we need to hear about it. We need to talk about it. And yeah, that part. Um, what can you tell me? I picked for hot flashes after my hysterectomy. I had uterine cancer. Okay, we can talk about that, Miss Ma'am. Hey girl, hey, I love y'all too. Macaroon purchased some, said you better explain the perks again. Yacon root, and it's YACON. So yes, we're gonna get into all this perimenopause. I can't sleep at night, girl. Yes, okay, we're gonna get into all of that. So we're gonna talk about the whole peri thing. Um, it's so funny. All right, so we're gonna get started, y'all. It's a few minutes into it. For my younger ladies, y'all will be experiencing peri or menopause at some point. And it's so funny because us who are Gen X's, right, y'all, our parents didn't talk about it. So it seems like this is such a new out in your face craze, right? But it's kind of not. It's kind of not. Because they went through it. And back in the day, I'm gonna tell y'all, and this is where a lot of this comes from. This is just a real aside, just to kind of tell y'all why it seems like the whole perimenopause is like a whole movement when it's kind of not. Because back in the day, our parents, our mothers did not talk about it. And it was for a couple of reasons they didn't talk about it. Now, and this is why everybody always thinks, oh, you go to the doctor, we make $1 million off of your deliveries, and then we make $1 million. That's why we want to do hysterectomies on everybody and blah, 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 blah. Child, that was the white male doctors in the 1980s. Child, a hysterectomy pays $600. And I got to follow you for 6 weeks. And I got to pray you don't get any infection. And I got to, girl, so ain't nobody high pressed to go snatching out uteruses for nobody $600, okay? And the whole 40 weeks of pregnancy, plus the 6 weeks after pregnancy, plus your delivery. If you got Medicaid, it's about $2,000. If you got private insurance, it's about $4,000. So don't think that a whole lot of money is made. But back in the day, girls, back in the day, it was something different. So they would deliver your babies, right? And then after they delivered all your babies, then they would do a hysterectomy. Back then, they got like $30,000 for a hysterectomy. So yeah, everybody's stuff was getting snatched out. So mothers didn't talk about it. It was like they didn't talk about their sex drive. They couldn't sleep no way because, just being agitated with all them kids they had and these agitating husbands and all the things. So for them, it was like, talk about it for what? Um, we'll get to the GLPs. Talk about it for what? Like, we got to go through it. There's no sense in complaining about it. Tuck your head. But now we like, what's this? Why am I hot? What's going on? Why is my coochie dry? Why don't I want to have sex with him? Why am I agitated? Why I want to snatch somebody's face off? Why do I want to fight all the time? Like, what is going on? And now we're talking about it. And so I'm glad we are, because it is my jam and I love it. So there we go. All right, y'all. So can we start off at the announcements? All right. I am so excited. If you've been following me, if you've been a girly, then you might know what I'm about to talk about as far as the retreat is concerned. But if you have not been a girly, welcome. Welcome to the new, welcome to it all. And let me tell you guys that put in your calendar right now, October 10th through the 12th, which is Columbus Day weekend. So everybody got off on Monday. But October 10th through the 12th, which is Friday through Sunday, we are having the Fresh Start Women's Retreat 2025. If you don't know, let me explain what it is. First of all, this year, unlike previous years, everything is included in your ticket. Not that everything wasn't, but everything, including a 2-night hotel stay, included in your ticket. Food included in your ticket. Drinks included in your ticket. Um, Breakfast every morning included in your ticket. All a swag bag included in your ticket. It will be conversation like we have conversation. It'll be round tables. It will be all other Black medical professionals talking about everything from hypertension. We'll be talking obesity. We'll be talking HIV prevention. We'll be talking fibroids. We'll be talking depression. We'll be talking menopause, perimenopause, pellets, busting down. We have sex specialists on board to help y'all figure out what y'all want to do, how y'all want to do. When I tell y'all, this is the most empowering retreat, the funnest retreat. Last year we gave away Mad Dog 2020. We gave away some of Beyonce's alcohol. We gave away Fenty hair care, the whole Fenty hair care line. When I tell you we had fun. People made friendships that they are still these people are still tight. When I tell you it is going to be a stone gas, this is something you do not want to miss. I promise you. This is my live. This is Dr. Tosha After Dark on steroids. So we get started like Friday around 3:00. We go all day, and we have Friday is more social. We have a good time. We get to know each other. We laugh, we joke, we do some fun stuff. We eat, we drink, all the stuff. And then Saturday is like a full day of everything. And then Sunday is like breakfast. And then we exit, we say some stuff, we love up on each other. And it is an amazing, amazing time. It is going to be at Hotel Indigo in College Park near the airport. We got shuttle to and from the airport. Baby, let me tell you something. Y'all see how my nails be busting down all the time. Y'all don't play about these nails. I don't play with the nails. Sylvie Baby Nail Studio is my nail tech. She will be on site on the premises, ready to give y'all Tasha's 10. What's up? Now that ain't free. You got to pay that lady. Yeah, you got to pay that lady. Okay. But at the end of the day, you'll be able to come if you want to come a little bit early. You want to get it done Friday evening. You want to get it done, whatever. Listen. If I can think about providing it for you guys, I am going to provide it, okay? The tickets go up for sale July 15th, okay? And we have an early bird special. The early bird special is $3.99. And again, remember, all this is included, hotel, everything. Your accommodations are included. So the early bird special is $3.99, and we are only accommodating 200 people. So the first 200, we're working, our team is working now. We understand the kind of economy. We understand eggs is high. We understand that the hair from China ain't herring. It ain't coming over. So we have what is it? The aftermath, Klarna, Fingerhood, child, whatever layaway program is, we try and work that out for y'all. But it'll all be worked out. You'll be seeing posts about it. Y'all will be getting information starting July 15th. And once we hit 200, that is it. 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 Okay. And we're going to have a good time, honey. We buying out this entire hotel. The entire hotel for the weekend will be ours. So get your tickets, get in where you fit in. I'm just trying to let y'all know, get y'all money right, get y'all babysitters, get y'all kids over their baby daddy house or your mama house or whomever, because that whole weekend is ours and we are having an amazing time. Okay. All right. So with that said and done, drop a little hey if you're planning on attending, because we kind of want to know. We want to get to know you. There will be an Instagram page up for it, so you can follow all the details, all the everything for the Instagram page, and you will be able to communicate with our team directly about all that. Okay. All right. So let us get started. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go a little bit in order because what I got, you thought I was a millennial? Girl, no, I'm Gen X, honey. Big 5-0. The big 5-0. My family ages well. And I try and take care of myself. And these hormone pellets too, girl. These menopausal pellets keep me doing my thing. But no, I'm not a millennial, my dear. I am a proud Gen Xer. Okay, so we won't get Columbus Day off anymore where I work. Child, don't worry about it. You're off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you're off early enough on Sunday to get back home so you can go to work Monday if you need to. So, anyways, somebody asked me about Bartholin's gland cyst, and I thought it was a really good. Hey, Palm Beach, hey girl. I thought it was a really good thing to talk about because um it's so awful. So, if you don't know what a Bartholin's gland cyst is, if you can think about like the opening of a vagina, and if you can think about like my thumbs being like the bottom part of the opening of the vagina. So to the left or to the right, you have like a Bartholin's gland. And the purpose of the Bartholin's gland is to lubricate the vagina, right? And sometimes that gland can get blocked. And if the gland gets blocked, it can get blocked with infection. It can be injured due to trauma. Sometimes y'all be doing too much down there, but it can be injured due to trauma, infection, whatever the cause may be. And if the opening of that gland gets backed up, then the gland will develop a cyst. And you kind of know it because it bubbles out like a grape. That's a good description. Like it bubbles out like a grape. And so like if you separate the lips of the vagina, like on the inside of the lip, you'll see like it just like bubbles out. And you like, what the heck is that? Sometimes it can get so full, it can have so much pressure, all the things. And that's when you kind of come in like, do something about this. Now, people say, well, how do I get it? Again, the gland gets blocked and it can get blocked with infection or trauma. Infection does not have to be a sexually transmitted disease. Do not think that it does, okay? It can be E. coli, which is the bacteria that's in poop, which why we fitting to go in on hygiene. Okay, we fitting to go in on hygiene, okay? But it can be blocked with E. coli. It can be blocked with gonorrhea, chlamydia, any infection, to be perfectly honest, or injury, like I said. And if it's big, sometimes they can go away on their own. If it's not big, it's not causing you any pain. You're just like, oh, I see it, but I'm not really that worried about it or too bothered by it. Oh, okay, cool. Then, you do some warm compresses. Maybe it'll drain on its own. Do some sitz baths. And we'll talk about what exactly a sitz bath is. Do some sitz baths. Maybe it'll drain on its own. But if not, if it's painful, it's not draining, you can't walk, you need to come in and see me or somebody who knows what they're doing. Now, when I say somebody who knows what they're doing, I'm not trying to be smart. I'm being serious. Can y'all please stay out? I can't even say this because I was about to say stay out the urgent cares, but sometimes this is urgent, but let me just give y'all a little bit of advice when it comes to the Bartholins. When you have a Bartholins, you know how you have the outside of the vagina, which like the lips, which the skin is thick. But if you open it up and you kind of go right inside, like right inside the vagina, like where you would put your finger inside the cooch part, right inside of there, if somebody's going to open up your Bartholins, they have to get it from right inside the vagina, not on the outside where the lips are. And that's a lot of times what they do at the urgent care. It causes an immense amount of pain. It is very, very bloody because that's where all the blood vessels are. And you're not going to get to the wall of the Bartholins that way. And you can cause a nerve injury to the lip of the vagina where you don't have any sensation or feeling in that lip. Okay. So if you have to go to an urgent care, be like, I need you to go inside my coochie and get it. Don't get it from the outside. Don't touch my lips. Go inside the coochie and get it. Okay. And basically, they'll numb you up with a little bit of lidocaine. All they got to do is like poke it with a scalpel, like, and literally that thing just start draining like a volcano. I usually will get a culture so I can know that the antibiotic that I'm giving you is an antibiotic that will cover whatever bug or infection is there. You have a Bartholin cyst where once we pop it and drain it, it's just clear liquid, clear fluid or mucus. And then you have an abscess, and those bad boys stink. They're like, it's pus. You could tell the abscess from a cyst, and usually the pain, the discomfort, the tension, a lot of that will oftentimes come with the abscess versus the cyst. Cyst is a little bit more common. And yes, what I tell you to do is I drain it, pop it open, make sure all the fluid is out, get a culture, give you an antibiotic, tell you to take a little bit of a sitz bath, and that's pretty much it. Okay, hopefully it doesn't come back. If it does, we'll do that a couple more times before we got to get a little bit more in depth. Usually I'll pop one about 3 times before I'm like, okay, we need to do something about this. And, some people will put like little drains or catheters in. I don't really do that. It's painful. And I don't really do it. I don't think that there's any more. I don't think that it stays away is a way of saying it any better when there's what we call a words catheter in there. I don't think so. And they hurt. So if it comes back again, we'll open it up again. If it comes back again, I'll do it a third time. After the third time, baby, we're going to the OR. And then I do something called marsupialization, where like I do an elliptical cut, and then I tie the walls of the cyst back so that the walls can't come together again and make another cyst. And usually it heals up beautifully and you don't have any problems. If you still got problems after that, baby, we got to send you to a specialist who's gonna dig that whole gland out, and that gland is deep. You don't want no smoke with that. But if it happens, it happens. But that's generally how you deal with a Bartholin's. I know it's not an STD or any of those things. It kind of just happens. Like I said, due to an infection or due to injury. Now listen here. It is summertime, right? And again, I was traveling last week. And if you know me, I hate to fly. I will not be one of those people who only go to Miami for my whole life. That's the only trip I'm gonna take is Miami because I'm scared to fly. But I'm scared to fly. Okay. Um, Yes, so please, y'all, make sure. Oh, by the way, somebody did say, yes, make sure y'all are liking these videos because then they come to you and they find you in the algorithm. All right. And it pushes it further up in your algorithm so you won't miss these videos. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Make sure you're like, and like I can go live. Make sure you are your notifications are on so you don't miss anything. I try to save everything so you can go back and watch it at a later time. But yeah, girls, make sure you are liking and following. Okay. All right. So back to I don't want to be one of those ignorant people who don't go anywhere, but I be scared to fly, but I be scared. I be trying to take some meds, whatever. I be nutting up on the plane. That's why I gotta be in comfort of first class, because in the back, it be too much going on back there. It's too tight. I'm a nut up. Okay. So, and doing that and being in these airports, and I'm blessed enough and to be able to be in either the American Express Lounge or the Delta Sky Lounge. But these bathrooms, y'all out here, I don't even know the kind of seafood fettuccine that y'all are smelling like in these streets. But we need to talk. We need to talk. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I hit the Bartholins already. I wanted to get that off of my plate because I thought it was really important. And somebody asked me like really early on, but I thought it was really important. But I want to talk about physical hygiene. Okay. And interestingly enough, after physical hygiene, I want to talk about sexual hygiene. Yes, they are different. Y'all know we always gonna hit BV because y'all always gonna ask. Y'all always gonna ask. But if we don't hit it the way you want me to hit it today, please go back on my YouTube and look at the videos, honey. I go so deep into BV. I gets deep into it. BV, AV, all of it. We get into it over here. So if I don't get into it as deep as you want to, just make sure that, let me see, listen, even the men complain about the women's restrooms. Yes. Let me tell y'all something embarrassing that happened to me. It's not embarrassing. It was embarrassing for us as women. So I'm out. Guy used the bathroom, and I wasn't like any place fancy. I was at like Home Goods. I wasn't here in Atlanta. I was at Home Goods, right? And I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom. And I make sure I keep the spray with me. If you don't know about the spray, I tag the website cleanandcute.shop. If you asking where to buy any of my products, it's cleanandcute.shop. Okay. And I pinned it, I think. Yes. So I make sure I keep it with me because I don't want to be nowhere far and then somebody look at me in my face like, So I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom, gotta go to the bathroom. And I try not to use public bathrooms. I hate it. So I run into the bathroom because I can't avoid it. Y'all, this bathroom smelled like it was a bushel of crabs that had died a week ago. I don't know what the hell be going on. And then the bathroom was nasty and trifling. What, y'all don't flush? Like, we were not taught to flush. We don't like the flush. Like, what is happening? It was so bad. I on God, I went to the men's bathroom. I dipped out. I looked, made sure nobody was in the bathroom. Yes, I'm ignorant and locked the whole bathroom door because you're not coming in on me. I locked the whole bathroom door and went to the men's bathroom. How trifling is it when the men's bathroom is cleaner and smell better than the women's bathroom? We need to talk. Now, I don't, again, this is a safe place. We don't judge, but we do hold accountable. Okay. And you have some women who were not taught. You have some women who did not have their mother or their grandmother. You have some women who have been doing it the wrong way. Nobody has the heart to tell them, or for whatever reason, I don't know. But I want to talk a little bit more about hygiene. Um, so, you know, here's this. You would think that some things are second nature, like, oh, you don't have to tell anybody that, but y'all do realize that you should at least be bathing once a day. In the summertime, it should at least be twice a day. Now, let me tell you, in my perspective, from my perspective and in my mind, why we're gonna bathe at night. One, you have been out all day. Okay. You got sweat up on you, and we're gonna talk about sweat too. You've been out all day, you got sweat up on you. Okay. Um, and even though you have clothes on, even though you've been in air conditioning, your body still sweats. It's your body's way of keeping itself cool, right? Your body still sweats. And then you're gonna take all that and put it on your linen. So, and this is why y'all saw me do a post that I tried to have be humorous the other week when it was just like, bed sheets smelling like, dandruff and dead skin. Yeah, this is why after so many years you need a new mattress because literally the dead skin collects in the mattress. You don't believe me? Look it up. And so the thing is that do you really want that in your sheets? And then you go sleep on that. And then you got to worry about your face, your acne, body acne, all the things. And then in the morning, because you sweat when you sleep as well, when you get your tail up, can you please take a shower? All right. Now, if you can't do 2 a day, make sure you get your evening shower in because all that's been collecting. Okay. All that's been collecting. Now, I, you know, somebody told me that I never talk about my products as if I'm not confident in my products. Child, no, I'm not a salesperson. I be so busy trying to get the information out. I be forgetting about the stuff. But when it comes to anything that's on the Clean and Cute website, let me be very clear. It's a few things. One, I created the website so that to solve problems, not the website, the products, to solve problems, not just to have products. Okay, when we deal with laundry stuff, oftentimes it moves stuff around, but it doesn't actually get the dirt out of the fabric, and it is dangerous to the waterways, the fish in the waterways, and all of us who pescatarians and we think we all extra healthy or whatever. Baby, those fish are, their gills are saturated in the chemicals that wash through the waterway in our laundry detergent. So I wanted to make sure that I had a natural alternative, a hypoallergenic, no parabens, no sulfates, no GMO, none of all that stuff. I wanted something that smelled good because it's a fragrant essential oil. But I created, and if you're new here and you don't know, I'm not bragging. I just say it for the people who don't know, y'all. Everybody ain't a day one. But I created my undergraduate degree is in chemistry, so I created a preservative that goes into a different preservative for different products that goes into my products that actually kill the bacteria that live on your skin, right? So the laundry one called Home, that kills like MRSA, staph, strep, all the things that your candidas, your ones for like athlete's foot, anything that can be found on your body, it is going to kill that in your laundry, okay? And your regular clothes, your linens, all of those things, okay? So when it comes to that, make sure you're cleaning with Home. If you're not using Home, use some derivative of a more natural detergent. But we prefer it to be us, honey, because we smell good and we're truly all natural. We're not faking the funk. Now, yes, when you sleep, you sweat, okay, and you shed skin cells, and it's just normal. It's what you're supposed to do. So imagine you turning side to side to side to side. You thinking no dead skin rubbing off of you and onto your sheets? And I don't care how clean you are, it's just happening. It just is, right? So that's something we definitely need to be mindful of, is cleaning your area. You be like, why my room smell like that? Baby, that's your sheets. And when you walk outside, we can smell it. When you don't shower in the morning, you know how you walk past somebody and you get like this stale stank smell? We don't want that for any of us. Okay. I do want to talk to y'all about do I still need to use bleach with your cleaning products? No, ma'am. No, ma'am, you don't need to. You know, some people just addicted to bleach. I won't argue. I won't argue with Big Mama and them, but you don't need bleach. Okay, so I do want to, go a little bit in depth about sweat. All right, because a lot of women, and here my postmenopausal girls, y'all listening? Okay. Um, a lot of women say that their body odor changes with certain hormonal issues or when menopause comes about. Did y'all know that? And let me be very clear. Did y'all know that there were two different types of sweat? So there's a sweat that, like, when you just your average everyday cooling your body temperature down, even if you go to the gym, just regular old, ripping and running kind of sweat. It's usually clear. It's thin. It doesn't have an odor. It'll kind of dry up, and boom, bam, there we go. But there's another sweat. Okay. And this sweat is associated with hormonal changes. It is associated with stress. It is associated with anxiety. It is associated with all of those things, honey. And it's thicker, it's stickier. And when it rubs on you, when it hits that bacteria on the skin, she stinks. She stinks. So yes, you're right. You're noticing a stronger body odor. Make sure you're staying well hydrated. Make sure you are cleaning your body as much as possible. Make sure you're controlling your stress levels as much as possible. And you may need to go to clinical strength deodorant, or God forbid, a men's deodorant. They be smelling good these days, though. They smell good. But God forbid, that's what you have to do. It is what it is, girl. It is nothing to be ashamed of. You're not doing anything wrong. It may just even be a phase that you're going through, with the whole perimenopause thing, or menopause thing. Yes. So body odor and body odor changes. So if you got that thick sweat, baby, I'm gonna need you to go ahead on and make sure you shower. Okay. Now, when I was talking about the Bartholins, remember I said something about E. coli, and I said E. coli is the bacteria that's in poop, right? All right. So bust this. All right, and this is very um, okay. So this is near and dear to me because this is something that I think that can be easily eradicated. Not Bartholins, but the bacterias that come from back to front. And when I say back, I mean your booty. Okay, our booty sweat. We have poop. Some of us have parasites. Which are not necessarily so common, but we do in our feces or stool or poop. We have enterococcus. We have a couple of different staph and streps. We have E. coli. We have Klebsiella. We have so many different infections that are sitting right there at the booty hole, right? And sometimes it gives me pause because if your hygiene, and you may have great intentions, but if you feel like you don't have great control over your hygiene, a thong might not be the thing for you, sis. And the reason I say that, think about this. Okay, you should not have to tell people this, but when you're wiping your butt, you want to go from the front to the back. You don't want to reach down in there and go from the back to the front. No, that's not what you want. You want to go from the front to the back. Okay. That's why they be talking about the BBL smell. That's why sometimes my big booty girls, y'all know what happens. A little bit of poop might end up on your hand. It's okay. You can wash your hand. It's your poop, but you want to get everything off. You want to make sure that toilet paper is clear. And then y'all know I'm okay with water wipes, not baby wipes, but water wipes. Okay. And you can come behind yourself and clear with the water wipes, but we don't want to expose the vagina to that. Now, if you somebody who just wiping one time and going on about your business, your thong is going to be corroded. And I said it. I said it. Y'all know we love each other over here. We can laugh we can laugh with each other, not at each other. But yeah, your thong gonna be corroded. And then you're gonna pull that out a couple of times. You're gonna pull it out, and then you're gonna adjust your panties, and then boom, you got the poop sitting right in front of your coochie. And then you wonder why you're getting the Bartholins, and you wonder why you're getting all these types of. I keep getting vaginitis. I keep get okay. So hygiene is a big thing, especially with keeping your butt clean. Just we have to be very mindful of that, especially in women. Everything is kind of right up in there together, and so we have to be very mindful of how we're cleaning ourselves and that we're cleaning ourselves. Okay, now you got to be in there. You got to flush 3 4 5 times. Now don't put all that toilet paper in the thing because you're going to embarrass yourself. Don't put all that toilet paper in there at one time. You wipe and flush, you wipe and flush, you wipe and flush until it's all clear. Okay. And if your water wipes say do not flush, don't flush them, just throw them in the trash. But by that time, everything should be clear. So you shouldn't be throwing no water wipes with no doo-doo in the trash. I'm just saying. Okay. And these are just basic concepts, but I'm being funny, but I'm being dead serious. One thing, and not that we do this for males, not that we should be doing this for ourselves, but men are very clear on the cleanliness of a woman. A man can smell you standing next to you. When you got some stuff, like people are like, oh, I smell like period blood. Period blood shouldn't have a smell. If it has a bad smell, that's because you're infected, sis, and that's okay. But get it taken care of. Don't walk around. Don't walk around smelling like a crab bowl saying, oh, I'm on my period. No, that's not how that's supposed to go, sis. You're supposed to be able to sit in the company of a man who generally they have pretty discerning noses. Now we ain't getting to how they dirty too. We're not talking about them right now. We're gonna get to them in a minute. But um, sometimes they have very discerning noses, and not even just men, other people who have very discerning noses. At the end of the day, if you have an odor of some sort, get that looked at. Get that looked at. I'm just saying. Okay. Also, when it comes to vaginal stuff, obviously, you know how I feel about, vaginal stuff. Discharge is not always bad. Discharge is the vagina's way of cleansing itself. So it's not always bad to have discharge. But if you got a lot, conversation. It smell bad, conversation. It irritates your skin, conversation. It's a crazy color, conversation. If your panties will be soaked if you didn't have a panty liner on, conversation. But at the end of the day, oftentimes, wipe clean, wash yourself, wash. Yes, I don't know who in these streets, I don't know who done told y'all, I don't know. People will they will read two lines of something and then get on here like they're expert selling products and tell y'all not to use soap down on or near your vagina. Please use soap. Now, again, let's get to the soap. There are only two soaps I co-sign. First and foremost, my soap, the Clean and Cute Body Wash Bar, but and not but the Clean and Cute Body Wash Bar, period. I created that again. That gets rid of the bacteria that we're going to find on our body, males with the funguses that are going to cause the jock itch, the MRSAs, the staph, the strep, all of the tinnias, like tinea versicolor, and like it's in a ringworm family, but it creates like a fungal infection on your skin. All the vaginitis stuff, the yeast stuff, the soap kills all that. It smells amazing. And again, it's all natural. But I created that soap maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It has been going amazing. I still hand make it. I hand make it. And I probably make about 400 bars a day. Yes, about 400 bars a day. So it's like it's going great. It works beautifully. I live by it. Like the other day, I went in my cabinet. It was like, oh my God. And I was down to my last bar of soap. And child, y'all be buying me out of my stuff. I can't even keep it in my own house. But anyway, but before I created the soap, for anybody who can't get it, if there's anybody who can't afford it, don't have access to it, whatever, I'm never that doctor is going to tell you, you don't use my stuff, you can't be healthy. No. Before I created the soap, what I told everybody and what I personally used was Dove White Bar Soap. Unilever, y'all better hear this. Y'all better tag Unilever because I be big up in Unilever and Dove. They need to hit me up. But anyway, so it was Dove White Bar Soap, the original, the white and navy blue box, nothing else, not the sensitive skin, not the exfoliating, and you cannot use liquid soap. Don't even ask me why. You're going to get a vaginitis. Don't ask me why. Do not, y'all should know. If not, go back and look at my videos. This is Vaginitis 101. So it's Dove White Bar Soap. Please go down there. Get you a washcloth. And since we on the subject, y'all know I hate them loofah sponges. I hate them with the passion of 1,000 suns because that got a bunch of doo-doo chips in it. It do. It do. It got doo-doo chips in it. I don't care what nobody say. You wipe it, washing your booty with it. It is all. And then you're going to put it in your cooch. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, honey pot. No. No. But anyway, because somebody said, wow, no honey pot. No, ma'am. Somebody asked me a question that I wanted to get to, but I was in thoughts. I can't remember what the question was. I'm sorry. How do I feel about no Yardley? It's no, it's chemical based and it's fragrant and it's gonna cause a vaginitis. So I told you the two soaps. Y'all can add as many soaps on here as y'all want to. Y'all can ask me as many questions as y'all want to. I ain't gonna ever say any soap other than the two and I'm not saying everybody's soap is terrible. I'm not saying all that. All I'm saying is these are the two tried and true ones. You won't get vaginitis. You get clean. You don't have any issues. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, no, I use my auntie soap in the village in Kenya. Oh, do that, sis. I'm just telling you through my experience in 23 years of doing this, this is what I do. And again, no, ma'am, we don't use liquid soap around these parts. Literally and figuratively on the Dr. Tosha sphere, we do not use liquid soap. Okay. No. Oh, that's what it was. Somebody asked me about probiotics. Now, we still with the hygiene thing. I don't want y'all to lose this train of thought. I just didn't want to lose the probiotics thing. Probiotics and prebiotics and peribiotics. Everybody added a damn biotic in there. It is good for your colon. It is good for colon health. It is good for bowel health. It is good for healthy bowel movements. There is no such thing as a vaginal probiotic. And if anybody want to get in the comments and squabble, if you can give me any scientific, because it just doesn't make sense. So no, I don't recommend probiotics for my patients. You want to take them, take them. Do I think it's going to hurt? Nope. Do I think it's going to help? Nope. So it is what it is. I don't usually now, and I don't have a preferred one for colon health. I don't know, but that's what they're good for. Okay. Now, guys, an important thing also when we're dealing with hygiene, because again, we talked about the hygiene, washing twice a day, wiping effectively, even wiping urine effectively. Wipe the urine until it's all clear there. Like, period. A lot of times we have situations where we got a little pooch, because I ain't got a little pooch. The girl got a pooch. I'm too lazy to do some crunches. Y'all got to pray for me. Keep me lifted in prayer. But anyway, so you got a little pooch. We've had kids. We have a little stress incontinence, meaning we cough, we laugh, we sneeze. We bend down a little too hard, too far. A little bit of pee comes out. Well, again, if you ain't cleaning them panties, the way those panties need to be cleaned, how those panties need to be cleaned, and we're going to talk about what kind of panties too, how those panties need to be cleaned, then as soon as that pee hit them, boom, they start smelling like fish. And then oftentimes when y'all smell stuff that smell like fish, y'all be swearing to God y'all got vaginitis. And this is again why I created another product, because I don't want y'all on a constant, I smell fish, let me get metronitis, or I smell fish, let me get metronitis, or I smell fish, let me get and you feel like I just keep being on, you the one self-diagnosing. Your doctor just lazy. Oh, you say you got vaginitis. Okay, cool. I don't come in. Let me just send her a prescription. You've been self-diagnosing this for years. That ain't necessarily what you got. And then thinking about it, y'all know how I am with this clean panty campaign. I'm not saying every 6 months you got to drop $300 on some new panties. Panties are $5 a piece, y'all. Okay, so panties are $5 a piece. So when you get you a little extra little change, you want to do a little self-care, you ain't got enough to, get you a new wig or a new sew-in, but you got you a little change. Go and buy $30 worth of panties. Now here's the gag. When you get home with the new panties, throw away, if that's 6 pairs, throw away 6 old ones. Okay. Oh, child, who is this? I ain't gonna call your name out on here, girl, but we don't do suppository. We don't do none of that. Okay, we're gonna get to that. We gonna discuss BV, because y'all might be new and y'all might not understand how we do BV around these parts. So we're gonna get to BV. Hold tight, hold your questions, and hold these suppositories. Hold them over the trash and drop them in there. Okay, great, thanks. Now, so grant yourself or gift yourself some new panties. They ain't gotta be fancy, honey. They got them on Amazon. I wasn't getting none of them Temu ones, child. Somebody grab you up, you think you having a little moment with your little boot thing, your drawers tear. Don't mess around with none of the little $3, them little dollar panties on them sites. But you can go to Amazon or somewhere else and get you some little $5 worth of panties, okay? And when you got your little nice little change, your little refund check, or your little paycheck, new panties, pick the old ones up and throw them away, and all the things. Because what happens is, again, the detergents, the cotton that's in the crotch of the panties, the detergents are not clearing those bacteria out, or those things that are out. Excuse me. And oftentimes what do, you take your panties off, they might be moist with discharge, they might be moist with urine, they might be moist with sweat. You throw them in dirty clothes. Well, you do laundry hopefully in a week, but maybe 2 weeks, and what's building in that dark linen bag with all that moisture? Mold. So now you got mold, you got whatever infection you may or may not have, you got sweat, and you got poor detergent that's not cleaning all the vaginitis bugs up out of there. And then you wash them, put them in a drawer, some urine hit them, and then it's just all a big crazy storm. So again, hit the site, girls, and get that panty wash. I also want you guys to use the panty wash for your leggings, your Lululemons, all y'all, the ALO, all that money y'all spending on leggings, because I don't understand. I'm just a little bit cheap. I don't understand what they do that the $20 ones don't do at Marshall's, TJ Maxx. or it used to be Tarjay, but we're not Tarjaying anymore. Rest in peace to Tarjay. But the $25 leggings, I need somebody to drop a line and tell me what the $90 ones do that the $25 ones don't. Or y'all just fancy and just trying to show people y'all got a little check on y'all. Because I'm going to get the $20 ones. I always said to myself, I'm going to get some expensive ones as I start working out. Well, I ain't start working out, so I'm going to get me the $20 leggings. But even those, the crotch is whipped. And it breathes. It's so you breathe, because a lot of times you're really not supposed to wear underwear while you're working out. You want your area to breathe. Okay. So you should be washing your leggings with panty wash as well, to get all those, stuffs out of there. Now, let's talk about panties since we're on the topic, because people always be like, I love me TJ Maxx Ross leggings down, but the Lulu got me. Girl, well, Lulu gonna have to get some layaway, because I don't know. I don't know about no $100 leggings. But anyway, so when it comes to panties, y'all, people say cotton, 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 but I think we got a little bit confused here, okay? Because what we mean is the cotton crotch, all right? You can have, other fabrics when it comes to your underwear, but what we mean is the cotton crotch, because I don't want y'all thinking y'all got to be wearing granny panties and these thick, hot. Shout out to Fruit of the Looms. We love y'all over here. We ain't got no problems with Fruit of the Looms. We all grew up on them as kids, and then some. We ain't got no problems with the granny panties. You need what you need. Again, this is not a judgment zone. But we talking about a cotton crotch. So if you have a cotton crotch, you got some little silkies, you got some little breathable. I don't know what all the fabrics they be calling. I have no idea. I don't want to call it nylon. And you like, child, who got nylon panties? I don't know what the fabrics are. But when it comes to the panties, make sure you have a crotch center. Also, there's like a new thing, and it's new. It's not really new. It's just not talked about a lot. It's called zinc oxide panties. And a lot of times they'll use those as urine wicking panties, odor wicking panties. And sometimes they'll even use those for, like, do little catches. If you happen to spill during your period and it's supposed to be like anti-odor or whatever the case may be. I've never used them. I've never worn them. I can't speak to how good they are. Or whatever the case may be. So somebody asked what drugstore detergent I'd recommend in addition to mine. Honestly, none. And that's not, before I created mine, I would use something called Ecos. And that was as natural as I could find. But none really, because again, when I learn about, if you actually, and if you think I'm lying, go to like your detergent bottle, and you can't pronounce all the long names of those chemicals, okay? Um, and So write one of them. Google what is blah, 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 and it'll tell you what it is. It'll tell you whether, because a lot of them are carcinogens, meaning they're cancer causing, and you're laying that on your skin every day as your detergent and your clothing. And they rinse in the waterways, and they coat the gills of the fish, and they're in the water, and it's a whole situation. So not only are they just like, not sound for the environment, they're not good for your health, and it doesn't actually clean the bacteria out. That's why a lot of detergents are blue and green, because when the blue hits your white clothes, it makes your clothes look whiter, but it actually hasn't really removed much of the dirt. So just saying. Yes. So there's that, as far as like the detergents, the panties, what panties to get. And like I said, y'all look up this zinc oxide stuff. Don't go buying them, because I don't know how expensive they are, and I don't know if they worth the money. So if you catch some somewhere on sale and you just curious, then be that as it may. Me, I haven't cared enough. Like I said, I follow the same rules that I give you guys. I don't do anything different. And I have to honestly say, my adult life, and this may be TMI, but my adult life, I haven't had vaginitis. Like, so I don't have these problems. I don't have any issues. Now, as far as the soap is concerned, I think a couple of people were like, oh, it decreases your discharge too. I don't know. I ain't claiming that. I really generally don't have discharge issues, so I don't know. So if you on here and that's your claim, drop it for the girls. But I don't know. I'm not saying all that. I'm just saying it's amazing. Point blank period. Okay. So as far as hygiene when it comes to men. Let's talk about that, y'all. I need y'all to understand, because this is not, and again, this is not a channel where we're male versus female, us versus them, better versus worse, orange. We don't do that here. Everything that I do is an attempt to make sure that you guys are in the absolute best health that you can be. Because a lot of stuff can just be helped, right? With the right information. So, I just want to make sure that cleanliness is a thing. I know y'all might like him. I know he might be saying that thing. What's the what it is, ATL shot Atlanta? He might have that Decatur sound, that East. If you're not from Atlanta, each segment of Atlanta sounds different. Decatur sounds different than East Point. That sounds different than Bankhead. Every place sounds different, but I can understand the allure of what you guys hear, but I need y'all to not be taken in by certain stuff. Pay attention, y'all. Let me give y'all a little backdrop. Let me give y'all a little something, something, a little rumple pump pump. Okay. When you look at how clean somebody is, they could have on the newest clothes in the world with the freshest sneaks in the world. Look at their skin. Look at their lips. Do they got dry lips? Do they drink water? Look at their teeth. Have they been to the dentist? Do they look at their tongue? Is their tongue coated white? Like, look at stuff. Look at their fingernails. I don't care if he smokes swishers or weed or whatever it is. Baby, if them fingernails is dirty and then he's gonna be touching you with the fingernails and trying to finger you and doing all this kind of stuff, and then you can't figure out why you keep getting the vaginitis, baby. So pay attention to your partners. What are they smelling like? Because they talking about y'all. They talking about how you got their car seats smelling. They talking about how y'all got these sofas smelling. Because I don't know whether y'all get up, they going to smell, or whether they can just smell it outright. I don't know. And it is sundress season. Okay. So at the end of the day, pay attention to them too. Like, if you busting down with somebody, do them boxes look crunchy? Do they look like they can stand up on their own? Okay. Like, do they look crunchy? um if he walk out the room, it's okay, you about to bust down with him, right? Run over and smell them, see if them drawers stink. If they do, maybe you should pick your stuff up and go ahead on home. Maybe you above you, maybe it ain't for you. You too grown, or he ain't grown enough. Something ain't right. But I need y'all to get in there and start smelling stuff. Okay, because it is Prevotella. We had that conversation before. We're gonna talk about this when we talk about BV, sis. I ain't forget about you. um Prevotella is one type of vaginitis, because there's 7 types, but Prevotella is a particular type that is caused by oral poor dentation. Do he got rotten teeth? What's going on behind all those golds? Because yeah, a lot of times some teeth be rotten. And that's why that breath be stinking. The breath is not stinking because the gold teeth. The breath is stinking because his teeth is rot. He's tails from the crypt under those golds. Okay, so I need y'all to be mindful of that, and us too. Like, let's just have a girls' moment. Let's have a ladies' moment. For the fellas who are on here, I need y'all to partake in this too. And even if you're a guy on here, weigh in, drop a comment. Like, we want to know. We want to know what you think too. Um, like, Here's how I feel. I feel like let's get into in like a phase of being about cleanliness. Like, we sometimes get caught up on what other people can see. Like, take the time to do skincare techniques. Go and get a laser facial. Go and get a facial. If you can't afford a facial, they got all kinds of products on Amazon. They got with reviews and pictures. They got products at CVS, Walgreens. They have things. Get into your skin. Don't spend $200 on your lashes. Let your lashes rest. Okay, y'all lashes be falling out because they don't be clean. Between them, y'all supposed to clean them with Johnson and Johnson. I don't know. They say the baby shampoo, but that shit burns your eyes. Am I the only one? They say no more tears. No more tears for who? That burns your eyes. Get that in your eye and see what happened. But anyway, let's not digress. Give your eyelashes a rest and clean those things. Okay, let them flourish. Let them grow. They stop growing not because of the glue is pulling them out, because infection is killing the follicle. Like, let's not be so like into appearances like that. We need the long, I don't care what kind of lashes, but we need the lashes. Rest sometimes. We need a lace front or let that, and if that's your thing, that's your thing. But get into like cleansing yourself. When's the last time you went to the dentist? Don't run and get veneers. I mean, some people, I let me back off of that one because some of y'all. But anyway, go to the dentist. Like hydrate yourself. What stuff. Like let's be, back in the day, our grandmas used to be like, she ain't the prettiest, but she neat and she clean. And it was she ain't the flyest, but her clothes be neat and pressed. Why do we get away from that? We need to get back into that. Like let's I don't know, let's start, I don't know, like a man, and I'm gonna tell you, and this is no judgment for how anybody does anything, right? But a man would much rather have a woman with a snatchback, clean skin, just lip gloss on, and a t-shirt and some shorts over all the designer stuff for a woman who does not just simply take the time to care for herself and has good hygiene. Like, I just think it shows a sense of self-confidence. And hygiene is important, guys. Don't be such in a rush and so fast and so this and so that. None of all of that. That you don't take the time to just take care of yourself and clean yourself, right? It's important. It's important. It's really, really important. And it means a lot to your health as well. And also who you running with. What your grandma used to say, you lay down with fleas, you lay down with dogs, you're gonna get up with fleas. Baby, well, you lay down with somebody who ain't washed their ass in a couple weeks, what you gonna get up with? So I'm just saying, just be careful. So, and I just want you guys to start really, and we as women, period, I'm gonna say black women, but because I'm a black woman, that's what I'm relating to. But I'm just saying women in general. Cleanliness is important, and to your overall health, to relationships. A lot of y'all like, I ain't messing with him no more because he don't want to go down. Well, he said he don't do that. Maybe he just don't do it to you, sis. I don't know. I ain't judging because you know what kind of place this is. This is a safe place, but it's an honest place. So at the end of the day, we need to get to a space of caring about ourselves enough that cleanliness is enough. Cleanliness is enough. Taking a break is enough. Being like, child, I'm taking a makeup break. I'm taking an eyelash break. I'm taking a break. I'm taking a whatever break. Let me nourish and moisturize and saturate these edges, honey. Let me just take a break. And if you don't like it how it is, you can always go to somebody else. But why is it? It's like, we always think, oh, we got to be prim and proper and pressed because this is what he's gonna want. This is what he doesn't want. It, child. Whenever you catch them cheating, you be like, I can't believe he cheated with her. So it ain't that important to him. I'm just saying. So again, with hygiene, we need to be mindful of it. And as much as if you got an extra $200 and you can either go and get the y'all them nails that be click clacking all over the place. And shout out to Sylvie, baby. I'm not trying to mess up your money, but at the end of the day, if you got $200 extra, are you gonna do that, or are you gonna go get a chemical peel? The gift that keeps on giving. I don't know. It's your choice. We don't judge over here, but it's just something to think about. Okay. Um, yeah, who somebody said must be a new thing now because women don't flush the toilet anymore. Well, what is going on? What in the nasty hepatitis B, C, D, E, and F is going on that y'all ain't flushing the toilet? I what I don't even know what to say to that. Like I don't I'm not gonna say nothing to it because no. All right, so that is as far as somebody asked me about our sitz baths. Okay, sitz baths are generally going to be used to fix particular issues or situations that you're having down below. Like if you have like a minor surgery, you have some stitches. If you have a child, a vaginal delivery, and you have some stitches, and you need to like decrease the inflammation and soothe the area. That's really for a sitz bath. Again, if we do a Bartholins and we pop that Bartholins and you have a small itty bitty little laceration down there, it's going to soothe it and help that area out. If you have hemorrhoids, a sitz bath is good for that. But just randomly taking sitz baths, like, I don't understand what that would do. So it's going to be a no for me. But it's just going to be a no for me. So I wouldn't necessarily do that, ladies. But, as far as the hygiene is concerned, that needs to be first and foremost on our mind, because I stop and I think, and like I said, I'm proud. So y'all hear me say 100 times over, I'm 50, because the girl is proud. But as a 50-year-old, when I sit here and I'm looking at these men, and interestingly enough, they're not really clowning you, ladies. They're really speaking like, yo, what's going on? And they're speaking about like how we're out here smelling and our general habits and our general behaviors. And when y'all drop your panties on the floor and how the crotch is brown, and it gives me pause. And that's why I feel like this is something that we need to talk about. We need to run it back. And soap and water with a washcloth, just basic stuff, once or twice a day. Clean your skin, brush your teeth, just basic stuff. Okay. It's just something that we certainly need to be more focused on. And I hope that that's a movement. And if any of y'all are like, just get it out there, girl. Get it out there. Thank you, girl. Just get it out there. So as far as hygiene is concerned, we wanted that needs to be first and foremost on our list. Now, okay, before we get to BV, because I know that's like y'all always waiting for BV. I want to talk about sexual hygiene. Okay. And this is the part that I was like, oh, it might be a little bit uncomfortable. Y'all might not want to talk about this, but I need y'all to get in here. I need y'all to get in here right quick. And this is not to be a Debbie Downer. We need to know this. Okay, before we get into the sexual hygiene, somebody said something about dry brushing. Maybe I need to look at it on YouTube, because I be thinking I be doing it wrong. I'm like, am I just supposed to be brushing with this? Like, what? Am I doing it wrong? Should I be doing it harder? Child, I'm gonna have to look at it on YouTube. But chime in about this dry brushing, because you said it's all the things. Well, honey, maybe I'm doing it wrong. So let's everybody teach everybody something. This is a forever learning environment. But I want to go to sexual hygiene, guys. So remember, I told you again, I'm proud I took this flight and I didn't nut up. So that's why I keep talking about it. Yeah. So again, last week, I went for training in Miami. And if you guys don't know, I am a speaker. I'm a national speaker for ViiV. And ViiV is a company that focuses on HIV prevention. The shot, the every 2 month shot, Apritude. Is what I educate on, what I speak about, what I believe in, what I give to my patients, and the whole 9 yards, right? And I want to talk about sexual hygiene. This is something that I didn't create sexual hygiene. I think I termed it. I coined the term. But essentially, what sexual hygiene is when you are having sex, what do you do? Not your activities. I'm not talking about that. But like, once it's all said and done, what do you do? And I'm going to tell you why it's important, right? So, as Black women, and right now I'm speaking to Black women because that's who I have the statistics for, okay? As Black women, we are 12% of the population, right? 12% up. Dry brush up to the heart to stimulate lymphatic drainage. Got it. We're 12% of the population, right? We're 70% of the new HIV cases. 70%. And when I'm sitting and I'm giving these statistics and I'm learning these statistics and I'm doing all the things, I sit and I think about my patients, because y'all think that it's sex workers or it's hoes or it's freaks or it's strippers or it's, thoughts. And mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. The people who I've diagnosed have been professionals, some healthcare professionals, married, in what they thought were monogamous relationships. So it doesn't look like a particular thing, right? So my goal is always to protect us. It's always to protect us, right? And so if you know me, you come to my practice, we test for everything, 8 to 80, cripple or crazy. You literally have to tell me, no, doc, I don't want to be tested for this. And then I won't. I'm gonna put a note in your chart. She said she ain't want to be tested for that. But I test everybody for everything, right? And because you be surprised at where I found certain things. But I want to talk about sexual hygiene. What do I mean by sexual hygiene? Okay, so here it is. It's the after. What do you do after? Now, when it comes to situations of, and it's just a checklist. If, let's say, everything has gone the way we wanted it to go, we didn't have any broken condoms, we didn't have any accidents, we didn't have anything. Okay, what I'll tell somebody: get up, go to the restroom, get in the shower. Okay, and boom, there we go. Before you have sex with anybody, if y'all don't hear nothing, can y'all hear this? Can y'all hear this? Before you, and I don't care how long you think you've known this person, I don't care, y'all went to high school together, I don't care. Before you allow any person to touch you, can you please visibly see their STD testing? See it with your own eyes, not hear about it, not think of, oh no, he went and got it done, did you see it? No, I didn't ask him. So if you ain't see it, it wasn't done. I mean, can you please see it? Okay, please. So there's that. So we didn't have any broken condoms, whatever the case may be. We had safe sex, everything was good, blah, blah, blah. Now, so we get up, we pee, we clean ourselves, and we go from there. Make sure everything looks and feels and is okay. All right. Now, let's say something happened. Let's say that person took a condom off and you didn't realize it. Let's say the condom broke, because everybody think they wear a Magnum, and that's why they be slipping off. They be getting stuck inside of y'all. Everybody don't need no damn Magnum. And did y'all realize that a regular condom, you could put a whole foot inside of a regular condom? So all them don't be needing no Magnum, but we ain't gonna have that conversation. That's a different conversation for a different day, for a different podcast. Now, but the case in point is this. First, you want to obviously get up, you want to urinate, you want to clean yourself. Let's say you're not on any birth control, or maybe whatever the case may be, and the condom broke or the condom came off. We want to definitely get a plan B. Now, if you pass that stage in your life where you cannot get pregnant, meaning you're no longer having periods, due to perimenopause, menopause, whatever the case, you had your tubes tied, whatever the case may be, where you cannot get pregnant, then a plan B is not necessary. But otherwise, please get a plan B. Then here's the most important part. Are y'all hearing me? This can save somebody's life. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to take a minute after I tell you this. Okay, so here's this. If the condom breaks and you have not seen his STD, you have not seen his HIV testing, and he might be getting a little janky when you like, oh, you got any results for me? Like what? Please get up immediately and go and get what we call PEP. PEP. That is post exposure prophylaxis. A lot of times you can get it at urgent care. Sometimes they might be ignorant. You can get it in the ER. It's a bunch of different clinics in your city that will provide it. Certainly for PEP. And essentially PEP is a pill a day for 30 days. If you take that pill a day for 30 days, you will decrease your risk of getting HIV from that person by 99%. You heard me? I say 99%. All right. It can happen to any of us. Please just know that if somebody don't want to show you, they start getting janky afterwards. Please, y'all, I need y'all to hear me. Even if, let's say, you might not want to, whatever, right? You might not want to ask them. You might be scared. Y'all know they sell at-home HIV kits, right? Right at the Walgreens. I want to say they $40 or $50. It's real easy. You swab your jaw, you drop a couple of drops on the thing. If after like 15 or 20 minutes it turns a color, they got HIV. Y'all can do that before you have sex, just as your foreplay. Swab it, drop. Y'all finish the foreplay before y'all bust down. you able to see what's going on with him. Just protect yourself as much as possible, because especially, do you know what the age group is too? Young people, like ages like 12 to like 29. And then we got older people, our group, because what you an empty nester now, your house is empty, you done raised your kids, you divorced or you widowed, you like, child, we ain't in them streets like that. Okay, maybe not now, maybe not now, but what was in them streets in them 80s done followed somebody up into 2025. So just be careful. And it's not to say that, if somebody is HIV positive and they're undetectable, they can't transmit it to you, but you still want to know. You want that information. Yes, you can date somebody who's HIV positive without contracting HIV, but they have to be undetectable, and you have to be on what we call PrEP, which is pre-exposure, and it's a way of preventing yourself. So if you outside, you and a couple of you doing whatever, you ain't sure what your husband is doing. He might be an NBA player, he might be a rapper, he may have a high risk lifestyle, he might be just a hoe, he might be a CEO of a company. Anybody who got a little change, they high risk. Just because I actually don't believe in high risk. If you want my professional opinion, risk is risk. Risk is risk. And when I speak, people are like, what you mean? Like, I'm not high risk. Risk is risk. What does that mean? You could be married to your husband for 30 years and you in a monogamous relationship with him, but that ninja got a whole Cialis prescription. Okay. And he down at, the Tasker Homes, okay, with a 25-year-old. Okay. All right. And he busting down on her $400 rent, getting all the works and the perks. Okay. But she got a 30-year-old man because he about 60. So she got a 30-year-old man. So now we got four people at least, because the 30-year-old man probably got a couple girlfriends. So we got 3, 4, 5 people in the mix. And you think you low risk because you've been married for 30 years and that's your only sex partner. So I'm not somebody who believes in high risk versus low risk. Risk is risk. If you having sex with a human being, and if you're not, and you having sex with some other than a human being, I can't help you. You need some other kind of instructions. We ain't got nothing for you over here. Okay. But if you having sex with another human being, risk is risk. So if you don't know about it, learn about it, because it's like people think that HIV is decreasing. It's not, it's increasing. And they don't talk about it because we're the demographic that's getting hit and hurt the most. Okay, so I want y'all to just be aware, talk to y'all doctors about it. Be like, yo, what's this PrEP thing I heard Dr. Tosha talking about? Can I get the shot? Can I get the pills? Because if you ain't somebody who wants to take pills every day, we got a shot for you too, boo. But it's out there, and I want y'all to be living your best life. It don't have to be for you. It don't have to be for you, but at least you know about it. If y'all want me to talk some more about it, I will. Just let me know. But at least you know about it. You can talk about it with your nieces, your nephews. That's how we operate as Black people. We pollinate. So one person learns something, we bring it back to the community. And then we see how everybody feel about it. People be scared, like, oh, don't that put HIV in your body? Don't they put HIV in your body and then your immune system? That's a vaccine, and we ain't got that. So no. But what happens is that, let's say you're exposed to somebody who has HIV and you don't know. After 72 hours, your body will start to make copies of the HIV virus, and you're now positive. You're now positive. You only get 72 hours. So the whole purpose of PEP is, before that 72 hours, as early as possible, when you start taking the pill, it prevents your body from making copies of the HIV virus. So if you don't make copies of it, you can't be positive, right? So this is how it works. It just prevents your body from picking up and making copies of the HIV virus. Okay. So no, it doesn't put HIV in your body. There's no risk of being on it. For the injection, a couple days after you get it, your booty's sore, and then you do a sitz bath for that, and then you're fine. But there's no medical risk to you. When somebody said, an HIV person said that PrEP takes its toll on you. You can't be HIV positive on PrEP. PrEP is for people who are HIV negative and trying to prevent being HIV positive. If somebody has HIV, they're on HIV medicine regimens. And based on what they got, based on their medicine regimens, and they can have different medicines, can have different side effects. But PrEP is something different, and that is for prevention, my baby. So please, please, please know and understand that. Can you repeat that again? Yes, I can. You were right. You read it right. As Black women, we're 12% of the population, but we're 70% of the new HIV cases. 70%. Let me just break that down a little bit more, because understand, at this point, HIV is 100% preventable. It is 100% preventable right now, right? Okay. So last year, the United States had 40,000 new cases. It sounds like, oh, that's not a lot. But for something you can 100% prevent, 40,000 is crazy for something that's going to impact your life. Out of that 40,000, 20,000 was down south. Dirty South. Can y'all? Yeah, we dirty South real bad. So out of the cases in the whole country, half of them were down south. Out of those, all throughout the country, that whole 40,000, 70% of them were Black women. That's rough. That's rough. We're getting left behind. We're getting left behind. Nobody is coming to save us. And so this is why I want to have these uncomfortable conversations, because at the end of the day, we have to be our own keeper, and we have to look out for each other, and we have to educate on how not to get it, and how to be proactive, and how to be empowered. And it's okay saying, I'm coming outside. Yes, sex after 40, sex after 50. It's okay being on the shot. It is okay taking the pill every day, preventing the thing. But at the end of the day, when we shy away from it, we don't want to hear about it. It's not us, it's not me, it's her. No, we're not doing none of that. So nobody is coming to save us. And like I said, it is not for everybody. I'm not pushing it on anybody, but I want everybody to be aware of it, because these are conversations you need to be having with your doctor. Like, so why you ain't test me for HIV? Oh, because I'm married? What does that mean? And that should be a point of offense. Like, why are you not testing me? Because I have to say, for all the people who are on here who are of a certain age, who are married, who are whatever, the only way that I would say your doctor has any excuse for not testing you for HIV is if you like, nope, I ain't had sex in about 5 years. Then we can skip your HIV test, because guess what? If you're not doing, illicit things like whatever, you haven't had a blood transfusion, you're not doing IV drugs, you're not whatever, and you haven't been sexually active at all, okay, we're going to give your doctor a pass. But at the end of the day, everybody should be tested. Like I said, 8 to 80, cripple or crazy. So that's a great question. Somebody just said to me, if somebody is undetectable, will the kit still show positive? And I guess that depends on the sensitivity of the kit. So that's something you definitely, when you buy it or when you research it online, that's definitely a question that you have to ask. It depends on what it's looking for. Sometimes if it's looking for something called the antigen, or if they're looking for the antibody, then yes, it's still, the antibody is there, it's going to come up. But sometimes if it's looking for a particular number or a viral load, if the viral load is low enough, then it might not show up. So definitely when you read that test, you want to know what it's looking for, and that'll determine whether it'll show up or not. Okay. So there's that. So again, as far as sexual hygiene is concerned, and let me tell y'all how I really got into this. PrEP, or HIV prevention, has been out since 2012, right? So I moved to Atlanta in 2010. And I'm always, since I was young, I've always been following everything. I've always been at the marches for Planned Parenthood, keep your laws off my body, all the stuff. I've always done it since I was a teenager, right? So things like PrEP, HIV prevention, anything sexually or socially empowering, your girl has a thumb on the pulse, right? So fast forward to, I knew about PrEP. And I knew about it. I knew how to prescribe it. But here in the South, people were like, what? Now this is 2010 now. So, I mean, this is like 2012, because I moved here 2010, but it's like 2012, 2013. So I'm watching Steve Harvey morning show, right? and a lady was on there. You're gonna do the strawberry letter. So a lady's on there, and she's talking about how, she got her credit together, she got her life together, she got everything together. She has an 8 or 9 year old daughter. She bought her a house. She got some money in the bank, and so now she like, okay, I'm about to come out here and start dating again, right? So, um, fast forward to, she asked the dude for his STD testing, but they ended up having sex before he gave it to her. So she had sex with him, but something just wasn't right in her spirit. And so what did she end up doing? I think she said they started with a condom, but they finished without a condom. Y'all know how that goes. Something was in her spirit. She kept asking, kept asking, kept asking. He started fleeing her, wouldn't answer her calls, didn't want to talk to her, blah, 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 blah. She called his job. He basically kind of dismissed her. Something wasn't right. She was like, something ain't right, something ain't right. So y'all know, if you do become positive, it takes 6 weeks before it shows up in your blood. So she got tested, I guess maybe a couple weeks afterwards, she was negative. Got tested 6 to 8 weeks afterwards, she was positive. And she was so brokenhearted and da, 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 da. And I was like, okay, when she immediately went in to get tested, why didn't nobody give this lady prep? Why didn't nobody give this lady prep? And I was trying to call in to say, hey, let me tell y'all about this. This is out here. And I couldn't get in. Y'all know, trying to call the radio station in the morning. Y'all know how that goes. And I was on my ride to work, and so it broke my heart. And that's that lady. And I'm not saying that she would have 100% been remained negative, but she would have given herself a 99% chance at remaining negative had somebody discussed prep with her, had somebody said, hey, listen, there's something you can do. And again, it was so new at the time. But like I said, I don't force anything on anybody, but nobody who comes into my office will ever say that they didn't know. I never heard of that. What's that? What y'all talking about? Nobody will ever say they didn't know. And that has always been a thing for me, especially after that lady. And I always pushed and went hard. So there's that. And that's why I'm so big on sexual hygiene. Like I said, mistakes happen. It is what it is. We do what we do. You were drunk, you were the whatever, the bust down, your gut will let you, that next morning, your gut be like, something ain't right. I shouldn't have did that. I should go get you, go somewhere, go to a clinic, go get you some prep. Okay. A pep, I'm sorry, pep, post exposure. Go get you some pep. Yes, the streets are crazy, but so are the churches. So are the boardrooms. Okay, so don't think you got to be outside for something like that to happen, and for you to be affected by it. So it's not one of us, it's all of us. And that's why we really have to look out for each other. So I hope if this message reached one person and it taught you about prep or taught you about pep, and to be able to go get some pep or ask your doctor about prep, like, then my night is made, like, seriously. So that's a big deal. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna tell you before we get to BV, because I know that's the grand finale. All right, I want to talk about HS a little bit. Okay, so HS is hidradenitis suppurativa. I don't know if y'all are familiar with it. And it's another thing. Like, I don't know. I've always kind of like favored the underdog. So anything that can happen to somebody that really negatively affects their life, that can be really hurtful and shameful, I'm all about bringing attention to it so that we can rally around people and help people. And I'm sure you guys, either you suffer from hidradenitis and you suffer from hidradenitis and you don't know, or you've seen somebody with hidradenitis and you didn't know what it was. So down south, people quick to call it the boils. Oh, you got the boils up under here. And basically, hidradenitis is an inflammatory condition. It is a kind of a skin condition, but it affects the glands, the hair glands. So it hits you on your groin. It hits you like in your thighs, under your armpits, under your breast. It can be very, very, very debilitating. It can be painful. And again, I have a video talking about hidradenitis. Just run back the YouTubes, girls. It can be very debilitating. Sometimes people actually, because what happens is you develop like tracks. And when I say tracks, like think about like train tracks. And so it'll be under your skin. So it'll be one track to the next boil. So you got one boil, then you got track under your skin going to the next boil. And these boils are painful. They're red. They burst. They drain. They smell bad. So a lot of times people will put pads under there. And again, it can be debilitating. Imagine having that on your groin. Um, Imagine having that on your groin. It can be also on your butt. Imagine being a young person having to explain that to a new sex partner or a sex partner. Hey, listen, I'm not infected. Like, um, you know, this is just a condition. That's hard. That's hard for a young person to live through. And even if you have the surgery to remove the tracks and to remove where the abscess is, it looks like skin grafts. Like it looks like you're a burn victim. And it's just all bad. And I feel like anything that we don't necessarily have a concrete reason that it happens, then it's usually a natural or more holistic treatment. Yes, that's just my medical. That's my medical situation. That's my medical opinion. All right. So when I do have patients who have hidradenitis, suprativa, HS for short, hidradenitis for short, there are a couple of things that I usually am going to recommend. Okay. First and foremost, your diet. Please change your diet. Please, 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 please change your diet. We usually recommend the Mediterranean diet, but it's a low inflammatory diet. Stay away from fast food. Stay away from processed sugars. Even some natural sugars. Like people be like, I love me some pineapple. That's sugar, all sugar. Your body processes it the same way. It's a little bit healthier because it's not a complex carbohydrate, but it's still a lot of sugar. I want you to decrease your sugars, your processed foods. Make sure you are doing like a Mediterranean type of a diet, healthy grains. When it comes to beverages, the only beverage that you should be taking in is alkaline water. Alkaline water. Can I give y'all? Okay, here's another thing I want y'all to get. No disease, nothing from a cold to cancer can survive in an alkaline environment. So your goal is to make your body as alkaline as possible so you can remain as healthy as possible. Now, a lot of times we don't have the resources to get to the health food store to get the 5-gallon container of alkaline water. So, they have stuff in the grocery store, but no matter what it is, please, please, please attempt to drink alkaline water. Also, allow your body to breathe. If you're in the house, honey, just have on a tank top, have on some panties, or have on some boxer shorts. Allow the areas to breathe. You don't want your body to be hot. So, again, make sure that you are drinking plenty of ice cold water. Keep your body temperature cool. That is going to decrease your flares. Okay. So making sure you have an anti-inflammatory diet, drinking alkaline water, keeping your body cool, all of those things. You guys know I have a hydradenitis soap, has amazing things in it, anything from turmeric to tea tree oil, aloe vera gel. Again, I put a preservative in it that kills the infection that lives in the skin, under the skin. It kills MRSA. What else do I have in there? Coconut oil, but we have a version that's nut free, that has tamanu oil in it for people who are allergic to nuts or coconut. Um, Now, that is for kind of like every day to the area to keep the area nice, and as healthy as possible during flares. I usually will tell people chlorhexidine, which I think you can buy it over the counter, but if not, talk to your doctor about getting a prescription for chlorhexidine. That is what we actually use to clean your body. Once you go to sleep in the operating room, we clean you down again with chlorhexidine just to get the MRSA and the staph and the strep and all the things off of your skin. So I do recommend that if you're having a flare. And again, still use the body wash bar. So make sure that you are staying very clean, very cool. Keep the area clean, cool. alkaline water and a non-inflammatory diet. Some person just said, oh, it seems like I have flares when it's time for my cycle. You're probably right, because what happens when it's time for your cycle? You crave stuff. You crave chocolate. You crave salty foods. You crave this, that, and the third. And what are you probably doing? Eating those things, and it increases the inflammation in your body. So you want to be very, very, very careful with that and with hidradenitis. And we just wish you the best as far as it goes, because it is not an easy disease to deal with. But like I said, when it comes to hidradenitis, I am a firm believer that you're going to treat it from the inside out. And just be very careful. Now, people, and I'm not coming at my vegans again, this is a safe place, okay, but it's an honest place. A lot of times people will replace meat with carbs, complex carbs, processed carbs. Is actually more unhealthy than meat. Because people are like, oh, I'm a vegan. Let me have some of that vegan macaroni and cheese and some of those potatoes. Give me a little bit of that rice. Girl, how high is your blood sugar right now? Are you pre-diabetic? Do you got weight problems? Yeah, so please don't confuse having a vegan diet with having a healthy diet. Now, if you that vegan, what disease are we talking about? We're talking about hidradenitis. So if you're that vegan who, you're making the rutabaga and the bok choy, and you that kind of vegan, okay, good. But if you the kind of vegan that got them soy chicken nuggets in the freezer and the soy fish sticks in a Mm-mm. That ain't healthy for nobody, girl. No, no, into the O. So I want you guys to be very mindful of that when it comes to a vegan diet. Don't just always assume. And also for my vegans out there, if your primary care hasn't told you, you should be taking a B6 vitamin supplement, because you're going to be deficient in B6 if you're a true wholehearted vegan. You're going to be deficient in B6. So yes, you should be taking a multivitamin, and you should be taking B6 as well. Okie dokie. All right. Now, y'all, let us get to BV. I know y'all been waiting. I know how y'all do when it comes to the BV. I don't understand why, if you know me, if you've been rocking with Dr. Tosha, how can you not? How can you not? And again, scroll on back to these videos on YouTube, and honey, get you something to drink. And y'all want to binge watch these videos like Netflix, okay? Like I'm doing Blind Spot on Netflix, honey. Y'all want to binge watch. Let's talk about vaginitis. So first of all, if you saw my video on AV, which is aerobic vaginitis, and BV, which is bacterial vaginitis, 9 times out of 10, people are generally going to have BV. So let's talk about BV. First and foremost, I want to start out by saying, one, I'm going to need y'all to stop self-diagnosing. Everything that stinks ain't BV, okay? And I need y'all to stop self-diagnosing, okay? We're gonna get to the treatment. Clindamycin pill versus cream. It actually all works the same, which is amazing. It's just all in what you do. So let's talk about it. Bacterial vaginosis. First of all, vaginitis, BV, bacterial vaginosis, all the same thing. Okay, so I saw some video where somebody was trying to come up with all these. Well, this child. It's the same thing. Quiet down and go record something else. Okay. Now, when it comes to it, there are 7 different types of BV. Child, I wish I could name more. I'm gonna sit here and sound all ignorant because I'm gonna mispronounce the name, but it's 7 different types of vaginitis. When I am dealing with BV, I also like to deal with cervical infections or cervicitis, and we'll get to that. So BV, there are 7 different types of BV. There are 2 different types of cervical infections outside of the STDs, and there are 5 different types of yeast. Okay, right now we're talking about BV. All right, and I told you one of those types is Prevotella, which you can get from a lot of different things, but you can also get it from that boy's bad dentation or that girl's bad dentation. We don't judge over here. We're all inclusive. We love each other. Okay. So bad dentation, no matter whose dentation it is. How about that? So when we talk about vaginitis, there are a few different arms to vaginitis, but it's one of those all of the arms have to work together, but they all work independently. And so let me just break it down. And another disclaimer, we ain't got to squabble in the comments. Y'all ain't got to squabble with me, and please don't squabble with each other. I am telling you what I do for my patients. I am telling you that people come from around the country to be treated for vaginitis with me. Nobody in my practice has vaginitis that I have not fixed. Now you might be like, oh, doc, I did a thing and I got it again. Cool. We're not mad at you. But at the end of the day, um, this works. It's the blueprint and it works. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about is treatment, okay, or failure of treatment. Most doctors will treat with metronidazole or metrogel, right? Well, of the 7 bacteria that can cause vaginitis, metrogel or metronidazole only kills 4. The gag is most doctors' offices, we're a specialty office, so that's different. But most doctors' office only test for about 2 or 3 types. So they're only testing you for 2 or 3 types, and they're only treating 4 types. So what if you got some of the types that the metronidazole or metrogel don't treat? So I ask people all the time, are we having recurrent vaginitis, or are we having vaginitis that has actually not been treated? So I do not use metronidazole or metrogel. I use clindamycin. And the gel, it's cream, clindamycin cream, or the pills, and they're capsules. Yes, you can drink with them if y'all wanted to know. It works differently. I have strippers who don't want cream. I have people who can't swallow pills who don't want the pill. Okay. But they work effectively, equally as effective. Okay. The one thing that I tell my patients, for the 7 days you are on the medication, you cannot have sex. If you have sex during that 7 days, if you have sex day 6, call me. Just call me and be like, doc, I had sex. I need some more medicine, because the infection is going to spin the block. It just is. So I'm just telling you that. Okay. All right. That's that when it comes to um, the medication part. The next part is hygiene. Now, and it's not under hygiene. It's not that you dirty. Y'all doing too much. Y'all doing too much. So y'all ready? I'm gonna give y'all a second to get your little pen and line, your paper, because I'm like, what you say again? Get your little piece of paper, get your little phone or whatever you want. Click, 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 put it in your notes. All right. Here are the rules when it comes to hygiene. At Atlanta Premier OBGYN, the office of Dr. Tosha Rogers. Okay. Here are the rules. Never shampoo your hair in the shower. I said it. I don't care if you got a hustler. Back in the day, we used to call it a hustler. I'm showing my age. I don't care if you got a Caesar or whatever it is you got. Never shampoo your hair in the shower. Never use liquid soap of any kind. I do not care who made it. I don't care if it was made with the tears of sweet baby Jesus and El Boogie Know My Heart. I don't care. If it is a liquid soap, it is going to cause a vaginitis. No perfume soap, no deodorant soap, no Summer's Eve, no Vagisil, no Honey Pot, no baby wipes. I said what I said. Okay. Dial is antibacterial for your hands, not your coochie. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Okay. Things you are not going to soak in. We are not going to pickle the vagina and then come in and ask why it is dry. You are not going to soak in bleach. You are not going to soak in Epsom salt. Them people wasn't lying. They told you exactly what it was. Salt. Put a piece of chicken breast in salt and come back in the morning and see what it looked like. Because is that what y'all vaginas feel like? Okay, because that's what y'all make it sound like when you come to the office. Okay? So Epsom salt is a no-go. Bubble bath, body wash. Bubble bath, bath, them little fizzy thing. What you call them? Bath bombs. Bleach. That's another one. Apple cider vinegar is a no-go. Now, apple cider vinegar is amazing, okay? But that is if you want to take a capful. A capful. If you got reflux, they got apple cider vinegar capsules. Don't take them apple cider vinegar gummies, because that ain't nothing but sugar. Okay. So Again, you might have tuned in late, girl. It's only 2 soaps, clean and cute. The page is pinned. Body wash bar or Dove white bar soap, the original. That is it. And if you're gonna wipe yourself with something, water wipes. Water, be like, what the hell is a water wipe? Go on Amazon, they got them. You're not a baby. Okay. Why is it that babies can use baby wipes and we can't? Because our skin, the skin of our vagina, is estrogenized. You can't use that, sis. You can't. This is why a little girl who does not have a period yet can get into a bubble bath. You can't. All right. So we're not going to do all those things. Keep it very basic and simple. Get yourself a washcloth. Get either one of those 2 soaps. Lather up. Wash 2 or 3 times. Yes, you can wash your coochie and your booty with soap. Wrench down. Make sure you wrenched all the way off. Wrench. If you got that hand wrench off. Okay. And then get out. I don't care what kind of oil you use on your body, as long as you ain't putting it inside your cooch parts. I don't care. But when it comes to the soapy soap stuff, less is more. Back in the day, they didn't have all these vaginitises, okay? They did have some vaginitis because y'all remember y'all saw them red water bottles on the back of they used to wrench down, they used to wrench out when they had after their periods. They called themselves cleaning themselves off. So they would put vinegar and water in there. I don't speak to that because that ain't nothing but an old-fashioned douche. We know better now that we don't douche, okay? But at the end of the day, they ain't have all this fancy stuff we got. So everybody and their mama didn't have vaginitis. And I'm gonna tell y'all another secret about vaginitis. Before we're gonna finish the stuff, and then I'm gonna tell y'all some scientific stuff. Also, sex. Now, I don't care who told y'all this. BV is not sexually transmitted. It's not. But it is sexually associated, sis. Now let me run it. Let me run it for you, sis. It is sexually associated. Now, that does not mean, but like, yep, I knew that meant he was having a whole bunch of women. I don't know. He might have a whole bunch of women. But by definition, if the women that he had then comes back and disrupts you, that's sexually transmitted. So I have this discussion with a lot of healthcare providers all the time. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Like either sexually transmitted. Are we going to call it sexually transmitted? No, we're not going to call it. Well, don't call it sexually transmitted. So here is what I now understand and I know it to be. When you are having protected sex, meaning condoms, it is the lubricant on the condom. Again, there's only one condom that I co-sign, and it is B condoms. No, this is not paid. They ought to be paying me much as I big up their damn product, and as many of my patients use it. But B condoms, it's the letter B. That's the B condoms. Is the box looks like a hologram. Their lubricant is not Naloxone 9, which is the lubricant on most condoms. It does not cause a vaginitis. It does not cause burning, itching, swelling, or any of the above. Okay. Did you know that the Naloxone 9, that's what causes that burn, itching? Who is it? Yeast? Is it? It's swollen. My coochie just feel like it's swollen. And then the man done think he done beat your stuff up. That ain't what happened. And then you think you're allergic to latex. That ain't what happened. Child, that is that Naloxone 9. And actually, Naloxone 9, if the condom breaks, it actually makes it actually makes you more susceptible to contracting HIV. Boom. Okay. So B condoms if you're having protected intercourse. That's what I can tell you. Now, if you have an unprotected intercourse, can I tell you 9 times out of 10 what is causing it? His lifestyle. His lifestyle. That is, what food is he eating? Is he eating a bunch of fast food, Chick-fil-A, Takis, not drinking no water, always got energy drinks, don't just always soda or juice or sweet tea, eat like a child, always got candy, eating some Skittles. Foolishness. Is he diabetic and ain't treating his situation? Is he on a medication? Just a whole bunch of a host of things, anything that's going to, we don't think this way in GYN terms, but I'm just helping you guys see this. Anything that is going to disrupt his balance when he ejaculates inside of you, it then disrupts yours. And how do you know? If you're like, no, I'll be fine until I have sex, it's him. Period. Okay. And that's when you just have a conversation. I'll be like, you disrupt them. We ain't got to do all that. We do not have it. Confrontational is not the way, sis. Just say, hey, listen, I'm having some issues. And the doctor says that, this is a team sport. This is a team sport. I can't have a healthy vagina if your semen is not healthy, because people think semen is just sperm. It is not. It's sperm, is urine, is blood, is pus. Anything that man does in his body is in his semen. And then you are the recipient of it. Okay. So you need to open up and start having these conversations. Did you say not to use Dial Gold soap? That's exactly what I said. So you need to open up and start having these conversations. What are you eating? What are you drinking? Boy, you better start drinking some more water. I'm gonna start making you wear condoms. Like, you have to get yourself together. So yes, very much so. If you're in a situation where you're having unprotected sex with somebody, you need to be mindful of his health as well, because it could be the thing that's causing your vaginitis. Okay. All right. Now, let me put something scientific down on y'all when it comes to vaginitis and why we have to be so mindful as Black women with vaginitis. And let me tell y'all. So I was about 6 months ago, years old, when I learned about this. Y'all know, again, I'm always trying to solve problems. That's what it's all about for me, not just sugarcoating or being like, oh, just take this, you'll be fine. No, y'all want information. Y'all want answers when y'all come to me. If I don't have answers, then how can I give y'all answers, right? So something just clicked one day. I was like, why is it that when I see white girls, if I see 10 white girls, one of them might have vaginitis? But if I see 10 Black girls, 9 of them have vaginitis. Okay. So it started to click to me, because I'm like, you can't tell me my girls are not clean. My girls are clean. What is happening? So I went online, had the National Institute of Health. Like, I'm researching, because I'm about to come up with something. Every time a thought comes into my mind or there's a problem I need to solve, I come out the lab and I got something for clean and cute, because we gonna fix this. But no, y'all. So I come up with a paper that came out maybe 3 years ago. First of all, so when I got this paper, the first thing I did, I sent it to like 5 GYN friends, right? Because we all roll together. I sent it to like 5 GYN friends, and then one of my friends who is infectious disease, I sent her the paper. I said, anybody read this study? Anybody read this? Anybody heard about this study or this? Everybody was dumbfounded, was like, no. So they have done a paper, an extensive paper. Okay. And if you know anything about studies, it was like a double blind randomized trial. Anyway, it was the most reliable study. It had like 37,000 people. They did it in this country as well as sub-Saharan Africa. They do everything in sub-Saharan Africa. But anyway, so this was a huge study done by the National Institute of Health, trying to figure just this out. Why are Black women suffering with vaginitis in a way that others are not? And I was mad. I wasn't mad at the result. I was mad that this study has been done and there was no shine put on it. There was no light placed on it. They published it, but they did not publicize it, right? Because why is it that none of the gynecologists know? Why is it that it hasn't been in any like formal journals or anything that we read? We read this stuff to keep up with our medicine, right? So I'm mad. It shows that in the vagina of Black women, you know how everybody's like lactobacillus, you need your lactobacillus. Yeah, that's cool. But in the vagina of Black women, there is a lactobacillus called Lactobacillus iners. It's either iners or iners, but it's INERS. So it's Lactobacillus iners. So what we've seen is Lactobacillus iners is very prevalent in Black women. And what we've seen is that if Lactobacillus iners is present, then you are susceptible to getting vaginitis. Damn. So at the end of the day, being a Black woman alone, and I don't know why. Now I have seen, and yes, my practice does check for Lactobacillus iners. So, and it has been consistent, but I have seen some Black women who don't have iners, and they test, they don't be having nothing. And I have seen a couple of white girls who do have ironers. So it's not like a straight like this. It does like this a little bit, but I'm going to say like 70 to 80% of this ironers is on the black side. That's crazy, right? So, yes, we have to do more so that we don't get vaginitis because we are more susceptible to it. And it's not the men. I mean, I ain't saying it ain't the men. What I'm saying is that it's not the men alone. We have an environment. We have a what we call a vaginal microbiome. We have a vaginal environment that is receptive to vaginitis. Woo, child. So yeah. No, so somebody said there's no research that says BV is an STD. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I disagree with that, but you have to understand what people's definition of STD is: sexually transmitted disease. So if you look at it technically, can you get it from intercourse? Yes. We just had that conversation. So technically, if you play around with the wording, can you say, oh, ST? But do we treat partners? No. So, and let me tell you about that study, which was some bull stuff. Because somebody sent it to me, like, y'all know I'm the vaginitis guru. So somebody sent it to me, like, look at the new thing, doc. And I was just like, wonk, wonk. Okay. Because, first of all, y'all know that I treat BV with clindamycin. We just had this conversation. I told you about that. Blah, 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 blah. I told you about that, right? So this study says we need to treat the men. So they had a group of women who were only being treated with metronidazole, right? And so we know that's, and then we had a group of women who were being treated with clindamycin cream, right? So that's in the vagina, right? Or whatever, clindamycin. And then they had men who was treating their penis with clindamycin cream and then having sex. Well, we know clindamycin worked better than metronidazole, right? So they saw the women who had sex with the men with the clindamycin cream. So the cream was going in their coochie, got less BV. That ain't no damn study. We know that the clindamycin gonna work better than the metronidazole, right? So I don't care whether it was on a penis or whether it was in an applicator that you put in there yourself. If you put clindamycin on BV, it's gonna work better than the damn metronidazole. And that's what the study showed. Y'all ain't did nothing. Y'all just stole some damn money and then just wrote something up like it's supposed to be like, so we should treat the men. Girl, why? Why? How about we just treat the women with clindamycin? Because the BV ain't sitting on top of his penis. Child, but don't get me started. But anyway, so yes, y'all. So there's that. And as far as the vaginitis is concerned, now I'm gonna go a little bit deeper as far as yeast. Now y'all think yeast is no big deal, right? A lot of y'all are like, oh, you get yeast because you wear tight, dark clothes. No, yeast grows in dark, warm, moist environments, but that's not what brings it about. Y'all got these high blood sugars, child. Y'all eat with this bread, this rice, this pasta. We all got big backs, but we gotta pay attention to the big backedness of it all. Stay away from these processed sugars, these breads. Y'all out here, with the sourdough, like it's a-okay. No. Okay, so yeast is very much a function of what you put. I tell everybody, vaginitis is a function of what you do to your body. Yeast is a function of what you put in your body. Okay, so be mindful of that. Again, make sure you're hydrating. Okay, no, with the ureaplasm, we're gonna get to that in a minute, sis. Make sure you're hydrating. Make sure you are watching those carbs. Again, if you don't know what to do, meats and vegetables, Mediterranean diet, but y'all gotta get away from these carbs that is tearing us to pieces, honey. And so there are 5 different types of yeast. And it's like Candida albicans, which is the most common, Candida glabrata, then we got Candida tropicalis, we got Candida setaceae, and then it's another Candida. And if you got that when you just go on and call Grady and tell them to check you in, because I don't even know. But so the Candida albicans, that's the one treated with the pill. Keep it moving, you get the little pill, boom, boom, bam, boom. Girl, the second soap, stop playing with me. It's the Clean and Cute body wash bar. Anyways, but the next one is Candida glabrata. And Candida glabrata is not treated with the pill. You got to use the cream for Candida glabrata. Yes, girl, you got to use the cream. And I hope the doctor testing you for something other than Candida. Because again, if you're like, I keep getting this Candida, one, watch your diet. Two, it could be a presenting sign that you're pre-diabetic or you've become diabetic. Or three, we're not treating the right Candida. Because again, now I saw something in a patient recently that it has scared the bejesus out of me. Before I call her, I had to get the researching. I was online. I had to text my friend who's infectious disease and was like, yo, girl, I found this on somebody's vaginal culture. What's up? She's like, damn. And she ain't never really, anyway. So she was like, I think a lot of these new products people are using, like this boric acid and all, it's got, baby, she had Candida tropicalis. Now, we usually see Candida tropicalis on like blood cultures from people who are like in the ICU. They have PICC lines that are infected, and it'll be like Candida tropicalis. Honey, we now seen them in vaginal cultures. What the what? So they were like, well, it can be treated with the pill, but why the hell they got that? And they, so I don't know. That's why I said y'all gotta be careful in these streets who y'all letting do what to y'all, and y'all on these TikTok shops and all these places, putting all kinds of stuff up in your coochie because somebody done said, oh, it's natural. Um, be careful, y'all. It's stuff out there. Oh, now let's get to does clindamycin give you a yeast infection after treatment? Everybody's different. Shoot, amoxicillin gives the majority of people a yeast infection after treatment. So everybody's different. Some people are very susceptible to yeast infections after antibiotics, and some people are not. Some people, it wipes out all these stuff and then they get yeast. Some people don't. So I can't really necessarily say for certain that you're going to get a yeast infection versus somebody else who may not. So you kind of got to play it by ear whenever you're on any antibiotic. So now let's talk about cervical infections. This is very confusing to a lot of patients. It seems to be even more damn confusing to some providers because I'm like, the hell? Now, I'm a very visual person. And what that means, I'm a visual learner, so I'm a visual teacher. And so when I explain things to patients, if you have a mental picture of what I'm saying, you can understand what I'm saying. Okay, so what does that mean? So when we talk about the cervix sits at the top of the vagina, and we're going to close out with this, by the way, y'all, because it is 9:30. The cervix sits at the top of the vagina, right? And think of it like a sponge. The only thing, and it has like a little donut hole. It has like a little donut hole in the center of it. The only thing that cervix will let through it is actual sperm. But remember, I told y'all semen was not just sperm. It's sperm, is urine, is blood, is pus. So the cervix will let the sperm through, but the urine, the blood, and the pus are caught by your sponge, right? And so if he's unhealthy, again, if he's on medications, if he has medical conditions, he has a poor diet, whatever it is, that sponge is going to catch it. And the more and more unprotected sex you have, the more and more unhealthy he is, the more and more that sponge is going to get fuller and fuller and fuller and fuller until it develops one of two or two infections. One of the infections is mycoplasma. The other infection is ureaplasma. Okay. And again, when you think about a cervical infection, you really have to think about it as being sexually associated. Because remember, I said people are like, oh, it's an STD. Well, it comes from sex. So by definition, for some people, it comes from sex. So it's an STD. And that's not necessarily the situation, right? I'm trying to move this off my screen. Anyway, y'all know I'm not tech savvy, so hold on for a second. Okay, so technically it comes from sex, but I usually call it a sexually associated infection. No, it does not mean he cheated. No, it does not mean he did anything wrong. No, it does not mean he outside. Now, he might be, okay, but the ureaplasma ain't gonna be the way that you find that out. Okay. And so the treatment is very simple. It's azithromycin. It's 2 pills one time. These people out here giving doxycycline. Girl, I mean, if you're allergic to azithromycin and doxycycline is fine, but it's 2 pills one time. They got you on doxycycline for 10 and 20 days and a month. I don't know who out here or what they done read, but no, it's 2 pills one time. Now, I need y'all to do me a favor. I need y'all to not be obsessed with these damn cervical infections. Once they have been treated, leave them the hell alone. What does that mean? You didn't get it overnight. Your sponge had to get full over time, which means it's not going to go away overnight. It is medicine, not magic. Okay, give it some time and stop going back to these folk place getting tested and retested and retested. And now they want to retreat you and retreat you. Like, I have recurrent cervical infection. Child, leave that thing alone. Okay, point blank, period. All right. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand what's happening with you. And I want to close out and let you guys know, hey, listen, hygiene is key. I don't care what anybody says. You guys can alleviate so many conditions, so many problems, so many reasons for antibiotics, so many reasons for treatment with reasonable hygiene. Don't go buying anything crazy. Don't go over. Get you some soap. We talked about what kind. Get you a washcloth and go at it. Okay. All right, ladies. So I pray that you guys got something out of this. And for all of y'all who joined late, the Fresh Start Women's Retreat by yours truly is going to be October 10th through 12th here in Atlanta, being held at Hotel Indigo in College Park. It is a really, really nice hotel, and they're about to undergo renovations too. We're buying out the whole hotel. We got the whole hotel for the whole weekend. First come, first serve. There is a, early bird special. I think they got Klarna, Afterpay, Finger Hut, layaway. We ain't taking no EBT just yet, but we might be by the end of the thing because food is high. But anyway, so y'all get in where you fit in. We are going to get together. We're going to network. We're going to fellowship. We're going to learn. We're going to laugh. We're going to eat. We're going to drink. All that is included. All of that. All of it. You're going to have a swag bag. We're going to have an amazing, amazing time. And you're going to leave, feeling empowered, having friends that you didn't have when you came, knowing stuff you didn't know when you came. And all of y'all gonna meet and kick it with me. And I can't wait. So I'm super excited about it. We're only going to be able to accommodate 200 women. 200 women. So get in where you fit in. We're going to post an Instagram page, and we're going to start selling the tickets on July the 15th. You heard me? July the 15th for the October 10th through 12th retreat. It's on and popping. Okay. So I'm so excited about that. And I will be saying something about it every time y'all hear from me. Prepare to be sick of me. Prepare to be sick of me. We didn't post the link for the tickets. It'll be posted on July the 15th. And the very first person to buy a ticket gets a special gift from me. Okay. So there's that. But y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go so y'all can enjoy the rest of y'all evening in peace. Thank you so much for joining me. I love y'all, and I do this kind of stuff for y'all, because if nobody's gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you. All right. Well, have an amazing evening, and thanks for joining me, y'all. Boom. How you shut this thing off? Okay.